All right, guys, let's get this going. we've we've severely confused or confuzzled SAS. Gone live, guys. At everyone.
Why would I be finding Give Academy? No! YouTube.
And
Search.
we're gonna take a look at some more fences, see if we can do some fence jumping.
Give Academy, 63 videos.
Yeah, I got a few videos.
More jumping over fences.
So the
Fence jumpers? RSO. Oh, can we crack it? Golly. How install odious ASL? Why would you have my screen?
He's so confused. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. Is anyone still in the Discord? Hello. Anyhow, that's what I look like.
Exactly like this criminal I knew.
Hey, yeah, I get that all the time. I always look like a criminal. Anyways, yeah, I either look like a criminal or Mike is a little quiet. Is it still a little quiet? Well, let's see what I can do about the mic being quiet. There was a streamception. Oh, right. Mike's a little quiet. All right. Love the network thing. Yes, I was networking with the PC behind me. Levels. That's up. That's up. Let's see. Is this the device we're using? Little bits just joined. Everybody look busy. Properties. No. Okay, mic aux 150. I turned it down for the last one. Is that better? All right. So today, how do I mute this? Better now. All right, so today we're going to delve a little bit deeper into fences, just for fun. So you show us how to make. Yeah, we can do the 11-year trial. Oh well, we'll try. We'll get to it. So first, obviously, here's fences. You run it. It's running. It's working. We got 28 days left. Now, say you get down to 1 day left. It's going to expire. It's going to stay expired until, and of course if you uninstall it, this doesn't matter because you go on your program data folder, you see stardock, you see fences 3, and you see these two files, license.sig and cache.dat. Now they both hold some information. If you delete this one, it's going to say you're expired. Watch. Or delete cache, or run it, it's going to say, hey, you're expired. Now it thinks that we're expired. Now you either enter a product key or purchase it. Well, if we close this and we go ahead and delete the license sig also and run it again, now it will say, hey, you've never activated. Please go ahead and activate. And we're like, all right, we'll start a new 30-day trial. And you put in another dot in your email and you go check it and you activate it. And then you have 30 days left again. So infinite trial is not a problem if you want to deal with it every month. But who wants to do that? So let's pop in and see if we can make it generate a license.sig and a cache.dat that is like 4,000 days or something like that. Who knows? Let's see what we can do. So let me go ahead and jump into my Gmail here real quick so we can go ahead and verify this. That's not the right account. We want this account. And let's see what we can do. Now, I believe that Stardock also sells, some software protection, which is cool and all. But let's really tear it apart and see what we can learn about it. Maybe they need improving. So now I've done validated it, and I'm going to hit continue, and it says thanks. All right, so now we'll pop in. When it launches, it's going to say you got 29 days left. So it resets. You can reset it. You can do what you want with it. Now, we want it to generate that. Now, you might think, well, wait a minute, Frank. Couldn't you just delete these files? Change the date on your computer to be like some date way in the future? Which, yeah, you can do that. You can change the date to be way in the future and gain yourself some time. That sounds good. I'm going to leave that there because for whatever reason, my VM just resets the date no matter what. I've turned off automatic date, but it still just automatically does it. And you can go in here and you can do start 30-day trial. And now I'll put in I'll leave that one because it'll let you do it. But I'm going to set this time right now, and then I'm going to hit continue, and you see we're at 2022, and you'll see when it comes back it's going to say the local computer time does not match the activation servers. So with time differences and things like that, you may be able to gain yourself like a couple hours, but that doesn't matter because it's in days. So that doesn't work. We either need to bypass this, and you saw that it did generate a cache.dat. So we're just going to go ahead and copy this guy over here to the desktop. And we'll leave one here. And let's see if the whole make it read-only trick works. And we're going to go back, and you see that my time has now corrected itself somehow. I'm going to hit continue, and we're going to see that it says thank you. And we know that it couldn't have updated that cache unless it had permissions, but it's read-only. Now let's see what happens when we open up Fences. Not sure. I've never tried this one. Ah, it's still expired. So, of course, what we're going to have to do is remove it. But before we do, let's open it up in a hex editor and see what's actually inside. See what the great minds are hiding. Well, that seems pretty brilliant. Now, we've got something up here that who knows what really it is. It could be some raw information. This looks strikingly a lot like hex. And let's just go ahead and copy that. We're going to open up a notepad. And boys and girls, get out your thinking caps. Go ahead and convert that to string. Or we can do it online. I mean, sure, everybody used to have tools that did this. Now you can pretty much do anything online. You ask hex to ASCII. And let's see here. We need to, now the trick is you got to find one that will do it with no spaces or no delimiter. Let's try ASCII to hex. ASCII to hex. And of course, if you're new, go ahead and pop on into the Discord. Join us there. Of course, I am looking at the stream chat also, so if you're talking there, awesome. I didn't see Ricky Stevens' message because it was retracted before I saw it, so sorry. Now, other than that, this one looks promising, but no, it ain't going to do the trick either. Let's try this. We want ANSI. No. Oh, maybe. No. No. Where is it at? There's one on Rapid Tables. But the thing about Rapid Tables, let's go number conversion. And we want ASCII text to hex. Is that correct? No. We want hex. Hex to ASCII text converter. No, that's not going to work because look, there's no spaces. Let's see. Yeah, it didn't work. Well, maybe it did work. Yeah, I think it did. Now, that also doesn't look very helpful. And looking in here, you'll see that none of it really matches per se with this top group. But we may come back to this. I still want to find the other one that's on here because I liked it better. So I'm going to take a look and keep looking. Let's try this. That's not it. Oh, here we are. None hex. Don't want to bookmark, I want to paste. There we go. So it did work. But here we also get the oh yeah, look at that. Thanks, Crash. Give me a program. But yeah, here we are. We have, you know, the binary data as well, which could be useful because when in doubt, look at the binary and look at the differences in the binary between them. So, of course, naturally, we're going to go ahead and just log these 2 bits of information here. And now once we delete it and we generate one that actually works, we're going to also take a look at it and see what the differences are. So, of course, our license stuff file was good, but of course, this is going to think we're expired, so we got to delete them both and start fresh. Now, the trick to it is if you keep using the same email, it automatically works, but it will pick up the original date. So it's getting back from the server that original date. Now, what we want to do is intercept that portion in the program when it gets that date back before it encodes it and writes to that file, because of course that's going to be done on the client side. Not sure why I would have done it on the server side, because if you're going to encode it, you might as well do it on there. But the point of the matter is then you could find where it decodes it, because the client side is going to have to decode it. And it's neither here nor there. That would have made it just a little bit harder. So we're going to hit continue, and we're going to go ahead and watch it say thank you, and then of course it's going to work. And now running it, it says 29 days. Now let's take a look at that cache.dat. I'd show you the license.sig, but it's really not that impressive. So we'll pop this back up. We'll open that in the HXD over here. And you'll see that it updated here, and we have a lot more information. Now, this first half isn't that interesting, but here, this is very interesting. Because we have 0368. And let's see what we get now. So that first half, not too interesting. The second half, let's just go ahead and grab that, copy. And actually, we should probably just grab all of it. Let's just grab all of it, every last bit of it. You notice that this changed up here as well. We're going to go ahead and copy that. And let's pop this into our little thing over here and go ahead and do that. Now, you're going to see that it still isn't too satisfying to look at over here, and this information is going to be likely where we'll be able to see most of our differences. So of course the length is way off, and let's see how far off this first half is. Now, as you can see, nothing matches up, but some things just might. You never really know. Oh, hey, look. So from here forward, this chunk here matches from here to there, but this bit is different. You never really know. I could go into a long-winded story about how manipulating individual bits can get you some good results, but I don't think it's going to be needed here. So, kind of a wild goose chase, but let's try something a little more creative. So, we have our first half. We have our first half of our other one that didn't have that second half. What happens if we change it? Let's just go ahead and go to insert mode and paste that in there. I didn't mean insert mode, I want overwrite mode. Hey, I said overwrite, damn it. Alright, well, we're going to need to get rid of some of this. Does anybody remember where it started? I don't. But it's that big, so 1 down to 60. So let's undo and go 1 down to, was it inclusive of 60? Yes, it was. So 1 down to 60 and deleted. Now we're going to go ahead and paste this in. Let's see what happens. This probably won't work or do anything special, but let's just try it out. Now, of course, now we're expired. Well, that broke it. Let's go ahead and undo that. Oh, shit, we can't. Well, it's a good thing we have the official data right over here still. And let's see what happens when we put it back. So we know that this includes all of it. We're going to delete all of it and go ahead and paste that in there and hit save. Let's go ahead and run fences again and see what happens. Try my site for hm3d.com, a tool inside push insert and it will switch it. Yeah, I did push insert and it did switch it, but it didn't work. For example, right now it says overwrite, boom, not overwriting. Insert, it says insert, boom, still inserting. Now, if you're doing it in hex over here, it will. And if we are over here, it will. But you see they're backwards. Not sure why. Now, the weird thing of it is, if we do it over here, it just doesn't work at all. Now, what date would we be expiring 30 days from today? Of course, it would be the 17th of April. Now, we could hunt and peck through here and try and decode this, but we really don't need to, because the more interesting fact is that the license.sig, I told you it was boring in the license, but let's go ahead and grab it. There's a lot more information, and you see that most of it's all hex. And let's go ahead and copy this. Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, I tried, Sean. I swear I tried. Now this one, you see still the top of it's very strange, but the bottom of it's not. The bottom of it is actually readable, human readable by most humans. We see auto renew is false. We could probably just do true there and see, that it works fine. Now license, we have, this is clearly just some JSON. We've got an ID, a type, trial, activation ID, blam, activation. This is our original date of activation, cool. And it goes down to the time, but you notice you have a range somewhere between here and here. Now, or this could be down to nanoseconds. The format is a little confusing. Now, we see more importantly here a expiration date. And you'll see that it is, in fact, 4/16 of 2018. Now, one thing to note here that's very important. This is a European style of date format, not an American one. Now, in America, we would do month, day, year, not year, month, day. And I think that's even wrong for Europeans. I believe in European, it's year, day, month. I could be wrong, but I know that that is not our format. And then we have a product ID. Now, obviously, this may or may not be read somewhere, and more than likely, if I was writing this, this would be some sort of encrypted encoding of it also. Now, interestingly enough, we have a V8 here. It could be something. Now, if I go into the brain of a coder, change the date 99 plus days, we'll get there. You're jumping ahead. He changed it to 11 years. Yes. So you can't just change it. I'll tell you why in a minute. But if I get in the head of a coder, you'll see that you have V8 at the beginning of the string. Now, typically, at the beginning is when you're going to be priming your decode, something like that. Telling it, hey, you're about to be decoding this. Hey, my Twitch got hacked. Streamer observing screen audio. How hard would that be to achieve? Well, I mean, if you're connected to, like, streaming doesn't really, it's just a receive, so going back through it would be, you wouldn't be able to go right back through it. Unless you had something else open. Yeah, that's beside the point. Now, let's get back down to business. So me, from a coding perspective, up here in this data, is going to be some sort of encryption or encoding of some kind of this information to verify that it's actually accurate. And that's why if we go on in here, let's say, for example, we want to change this expiration to, just give us, 11 years. Now, this automatically updates, which is nice about this site, and that's why I want to come back here. We could just, grab this and go edit, copy. Now, you'll notice we only changed a couple things, and we could try to paste here, but paste right will work. If you right-click and do it, it works. Now, if you do it with the keys, it doesn't, because you'll see here the Control-V. I'm just an idiot and need to do Control-B. Over here, it works just fine no matter what. It depends on which mode you're in. But anyways, we're going to save this. Now, you'll notice that when we run fences, it's not going to like that, and it's going to say, hey, we notice that your license file is bullshit. So go ahead and start that trial again. Now you'll also notice that it's still here. All of it's still here. And I'm more interested to see what happens if we read only these and do it proper. What will it do? Will the program handle it? Or will it give us a different error? Unable to activate. Please try again. So it said I couldn't load those files. I couldn't write to them. What gives? Was using an overlay. I have the... I don't know how he did it. Had a bunch of errors in Chrome console and a lot of custom looking. I mean, I guess you could go back through the browser if you have like an extension with a known hole in it. Join Discord and post that in there. We'll take a look at it. But for now, let's stay on track because I have very limited time and I want to get something out here. So it wasn't activated. We can hit finish, and obviously it didn't care about it. Now let's go ahead and delete all of these, and let's get down to the fun part. Kids don't smoke, vape, and get the stuff that doesn't have nicotine in it. Other than that, and kids, by kids, I mean anyone younger than me that's older than 21 now, here, you have to be to partake. Or 18 in other places. So wherever you're at, you know, so anyone younger than me, kids. If you're older than me, then you already know. You'll figure it out as you go. So let's get down to the fun part, and that fun part I talk of. Now, of course, when we load fences now, those files aren't going to be generated. We've got nothing. We're going to do start 30-day trial. I'm not going to hit continue just yet because we want to capture this. We want to get in there. Let's close out our HXD and move this to the side and hit just close. We don't care. Just close it. Close it. Thank you. We're going to do a Windows D because that's a key that's only applicable in, well, I guess you can do it in Ubuntu desktop also. So why it's called the Windows key, I don't know. It should really be called the desktop or interaction key. Now, where's Ollie? You notice I'm still using fences, but I'm not used to it. Ollie's going to be right here in the folders section, conveniently called folders. Now, let's go ahead and pop into Ollie. Let's run it as an administrator, not be a noob. And we'll do file attach. Now, I do want to go over some basic attaching and basic assembly stuff again, but we're not doing that now. Letting you know, it will come up, but not now. Now, we see that there's an SD display and there's fences. Now, SD display is likely going to be here, right here. It's going to be this thing because, watch, if I close it and we just go ahead and close that, this is not going to disappear, all right? It's not live. Always, you know, not that good. But now, there's no fences and no SD display. That didn't prove anything, Frank. If I were to go through it and get this out of the way, it would just show fences. Just take my word for it. So let's go ahead and close this and actually attach to that SD display. Why it's called SD display, I don't know, but let's attach and see what we can find. I don't smoke. I vape a lot. Good. I mean, good that you don't smoke. Vaping a lot, that's a question too. All right, so we're standing here paused inside NTDLL. Let's go ahead and give control back to the program itself and check out the executable modules. Now we have a web. And among everything else in the world, we also see .NET, and we also see, wait a minute, didn't we decompile this entire program in .NET, and we could probably look up the algorithm that writes this whole thing? It's a good thought. We'll get there in a minute. Let's see if we can do it in Ollie. So we're going to go to SD display. I lied. We're not. We're going to go to SD display. Am I? Where did I do this before? View and 3 breakpoints. Yep, it was definitely in here. So let's go ahead and pop in here and hit continue. Now, with any luck, we're going to break somewhere, and you'll notice that we break right here where I'm going to push a value. Now, is that the value that it's going to write to the file? I'm not sure. I don't remember, but it could be. Let's go ahead and grab it. Now, you'll notice that it's a hard-coded offset. It's always going to write to that place, follow it in the dump, the immediate constant. And here we have some information. Let's go ahead and grab that information, run it through our thing. And, hey, if I'm talking too fast, you can ask me to slow down. I probably won't. This is some next level shit. Not really. I'm just really talking fast, and it's making it sound like it. Other than that, damn, I really need to remember to do that. before I do edit copy as table, because otherwise you're going to be here for days moving your lines back and forth. Speed up, you're talking too slow. All right. Well, lottery games based on chance and should not be played for investment purposes. I always wanted to say that. All right, so we've got this here, and let's take a look and see what we can find out from it. Is it or is it not? This does not look like anything of use to us, so maybe not. This could be the cache file, because if you remember correctly, the cache file didn't really have any English in it. Opens Ollie / mall. I'm lost. All right. Anybody who's lost, my Ollie is called mall. The reason my Ollie is called mall is because back in the day, the big thing to do, because Ollie debug was so epic, was to scan for any program running that said Ollie or Ollie debug, and if you saw it, kill. So the big thing to do was to rename your executable. Bypass like 80% of the shit at the time, and it just stuck. Not many people still use that method because they're like, well, if we're only protecting against Ollie and the common ones by name, and really all they have to do is rename their executable, I guess we're doing it wrong. Duh. It's just annoying, all right? So I just left it. So Ollie, I run mall. Here's Ollie. You know, it's the same program. It's a universal adapter, really. I mean, in Russian we call taking someone's word for it. That. I'm sorry. I eat Molly. Shit. I see $350 in there, but the rest of that, I'm real bad with Russian alphabet. I know that no, I don't even remember. I want to say that I remembered like a P had an R sound, but I don't remember any of it. So, I'm sorry. I think I remember that Privyet means something, but I don't remember what it meant. Anyhow, let's get back to work. Now you'll notice, translate you lazy. I'm not translating. Now you'll notice over here in the registers that we can't see because this bastard's in the way. Of course I could do this and not be lazy. We've got some information. Who knows really what it is, because we're not going to take time to figure it out. Now, if it sounds like my throat is a little bit froggy, you'd be right. It absolutely is. Good job. Always on top. Where you at? Always. We're going to click this, and again, go ahead and Control-Alt-TT, and then go ahead and bring that back up. Son of a bitch. There it is. Control-Alt-T. There we go. Now we can see what the hell we're doing. I'm not bagging. I just really... Yeah, that's fine. I mean, if you want to eat Molly, Molly was my dog's name. So realistically, one thing that we might consider doing is putting a breakpoint on this here, since it is a hard-coded address, which, of course, this address could have been written real time, of course, unless this is not write permissioned, then they would have to unprotect it, do that, and then reprotect it. Now, we do see that there's some interesting shit just above it as well. Anyhow, what we're going to take a look at is... Yeah, what I was going to say, we could put a breakpoint here and see if it's ever modified or only ever accessed or read, but instead let's just move on forward. Now, I could press F8 and go through all of this, which is probably what we're going to do, so if you thought we were going to do something else, I guess you were wrong. Now, we see that that goes on the stack there. We're testing some shit, and it's fine with it. It says compare ECX10. It's not. It's F. So if it's below, we're going to jump. Now, we're going to jump on out. Dakota, quote, if you really want to eat Molly, well, Molly was my dog's name. True. All right, now we're going to move into EAX ESI, and of course we need to scroll up to see that. Now here's that, and we follow it in the dump. We'll notice that that's a stack address and say to ourselves, what the hell are we doing? Let's follow that in the stack. And you'll notice that it points to another stack address, and we'll follow that one the stack, and we'll see that it points to another stack address. And we could do this all damn day and not find anything, but look, it gives us a return address to SD app services. Now, SD app services clearly called something right here. It was this guy right there, and that's what we're in. So let's go ahead and do that, that, and that, because who really knows why, but let's do it. And then we're going to hit F7. You'll notice that my email address is right here, so it had to have done something with it recently. Now, we could put a breakpoint there, but it wouldn't really do any good, Raggy, because, look, it's in multiple locations. All of these are different, except, well, that one's the same as this one, and that one's the same as that one. We could breakpoint both of them, but, hey, is that one's the same? Yes, it is, and this one's the same also. So, you could, but we're not going to at this time. If we need to, later we will. Hey, let's just go ahead and do it. Follow and dump. Let's go ahead and put a breakpoint on read or write access, and the other one, this was 50, that one's 50, so we don't want to do both of them. Let's follow this one the dump because they're not stack addresses, and go ahead and do a breakpoint memory access and read write. Now, other things around it we don't see too much. Software, Stardock, MISC, Fences 3, cool, whatever. You're gonna write or read some memory or some registry. All right. Now we notice that this here LRPC, okay, looks pretty interesting, but do we really know what it is or if it's ever actually used? No. Now this looks to me like a big old heaping pile of memory that's just being used for whatever. So likely came from virtual allocate or something like that. And I'm just gonna kind of look through it here for a second because that's what you do when you notice things that look a little funky. You just browse on through them. .NET, alright, yeah, we got it. There's my IP address, totally kidding because that's too many octets, not enough numbers, so good luck. Nothing else too interesting. And let's go forward. I'm done looking at that. Let's hit F7. Here we are. Jump below. We're not going to take it. Compare ECX10. We know that it's not. It's F. So jump below. We're jumping. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat. Never been to a rave. Move EAX, ESI plus 10. All right, it's 0. Cool. Add it to EDX. EDX is whopping that one. And that looks like a stack address, and you'd be absolutely correct. It points to this shit right here. Now, you'll notice that that's a pointer to a pointer, and if we follow this one in the no, we don't want to do that. We're going to follow this in the stack. You'll get another stack address, and then another stack address. And then you'll see that it's a return. Now, I totally looked the wrong one because we moved into EAX what was in EBX, but we haven't done it yet. And you'll notice that it was actually this one that is in the dump. It's right there. And then we're going to jump if below or equal, which, all right, we're going to do that. And then we're going to push EDI. EDI, it's meaningless. Doesn't mean anything to us yet. But look at that. Oh, my God. Client data, Fences 3, and let's go ahead and follow that guy in the dump. Follow and dump. Now, this is about to be sent out to a server. How do I know? Because it's got all this shit about my computer, my email address, my MAC address, my computer name, the source, the date, and a, looks like a GUID because I installed it user time instead of system-wide. And they see type virtual source, Stardock store. Great. Disk serial, there isn't one. So this is definitely used for different software over and over and over. You got a product name, you have a type, all sorts of shit like that. Now that's our client data. Great. Wonderful. We're about to send it. We want the response. It's more about what you get back. But you got to give to receive. Been telling people this my whole life, and do they ever listen? No. They just want to take. Take, 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 take. There's a reason my dog's gone. Well, she died of old age. She just laid down, went to sleep, didn't wake up. It was quite peaceful. She was also like 18 years old. That's for you. Anyways. Why AFK from live stream? Oh, you know what? Last time I was in live stream and it distracted me so much, so because the whole delay thing and I can't wrap my head around it right now, so I'm just staying out of the voice chat tonight. Hope that's okay. Don't take offense. It's nobody's fault but my own. Just something about ADHD and just going, huh? So I know I can't do it tonight. So now we're going to go ahead and push EDI. You're like a commentator. I am commentating my thoughts. That's the beauty of it. I'm going through this real time. I've seen some of this, but this part's new to me because it's about as far as it went. Now, I did go through real quick, find the response, modify it, make sure that it worked, but it only works real time, so you'd have to do it with the loader. Now, the goal is to make something that doesn't require that. I haven't got there. So here we are. We're thinking out loud, and we're doing it together. And you, sir, are like a universal adapter. Did you catch that earlier? Anyways, let's go ahead and move EDI. We're going to do that. It's 140. I wonder if that's a length because it's strikingly about as, you know, I would guess that this is probably about that long. That's not what I clicked. I clicked here. What the? Well, we have control scroll. So here we are, and 140 is up to there. So that's, no. Oh, yeah, no. So it can't be a length. Or maybe it is. Who really knows? Who really cares? Let's go ahead and compare EDI with -2. That's not going to be -2 because it's 140. Jump if above. Right, jump if -2 is above. Which means we could be -3 or more. Wait, help on command. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. If flag C is 0 and flag Z is 0, jumps to the... Oh, right. So the compare, AB... will be taken if A is larger than unsigned B. So wasn't it? EDI. Oh, I guess no. Unsigned. Gotcha. So this is a catch for young players. I love saying that. So if we were to call this signed -2, that's unsigned giant ass fucking number. Remember that. JA is unsigned. And if you're ever above that, well, it's going to say, sorry, we're not going to transmit 4 gigs of data. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and continue on here. We're not going to jump because we can do it. We're like the little engine that could. There's an F. Great. F for Frank. Frank the Fixer, a lot of people call me or know me as, and if you haven't ever heard that, that's fine. You don't work with me. We're going to send a 0 and a 140. Now, is there anything else on the stack? No, not really. There's a couple things over here, but those are the only arguments. Now, app services, what in the hell is this going to do? Is going to... I don't know, but I got some breakpoints here. I'm tempted to take them off and replace them with notes. Removed BP. Not sure why. Because I kind of want to do this one layer at a time, and sometimes you go too deep down one line, you forget where the fuck you came from, you can't ever find it again. So I'm going to go down one line here at a time. I'm going to go over this, we're going to see what we get back out of it. All right, detect. We got the word detect. Great, and it's in Unicode, so likely it was handled by .NET and then passed back over to us. Now, of course, this is something that came up the other day. Somebody was looking at a push, but when they follow it in the dump, they got this, like, well, the string's not there. Now, you got to remember, strings are typically pointers. You follow those in the dump, you'll see that that's there. And if we follow that D word in the dump, you'll see that there's our string. Detect. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go forward a bit. And we did something, but I didn't see it. It didn't do anything important. Now we're going to jump on over. We're going to test EDI. Is EDI 0? It is not 0. So we're going to push EDI. That's our 140. We're going to push EBX. Now shit's getting kind of cool. I bet you anything that this here is our encoded client data because we don't have it anymore. And now we're going to do detect. Do you see that there's a call here? What the hell are we going to get out of this? Because this looks like some interesting stuff. And I bet that all of these down here changed. Watch them close. And if you're not closely watching, you're going to miss it. Here we go. I'm going to hit F8 and you'll see all of these have changed. Every single one of them. We double click some of those and it does you no good because, well, it's the nature of the beast. But if we were to copy that to clipboard and go ahead and pop into our handy dandy notepad that we can't see because this is always on top now. There we go. We'll go to the end and hit enter a couple times. 3, 4, 8 times. Usually good enough. We're going to go ahead and get rid of these and go to the end and let's just see what this is because it is going to be readable. Holy shit. Wait a minute. This is like some next layer stuff. Let's go ahead and grab that and put it in here too. Oh, holy shit. Batman, he got me. Okay, so let's grab all of these one by one, and I wonder if, if it's going to like loop through a couple times. So we got that one. Let's grab this one. Copy clipboard. Let's go ahead and undo the always on top. We're going to paste here, remove our spaces. And we're going to do that a couple more times. Copy clipboard. Paste and remove the space. Now, I'm not going to remove the spaces. I'm just going to keep copy and paste, and we're going to use the search and replace to do that because it's going to save us approximately 3 seconds of time, and people like their time. Copy clipboard, paste. Copy clipboard, paste. Using the XMM registers is an old trick of my own. I didn't write it or come up with it, but it's one that a lot of people think is clever. I thought it was clever when I was a wee little lad. I said, I'll use the XMM registers. They'll never look there. And believe it or not, people didn't look there. Replace spaces. Do it. Do it. Get down. I want to get down from there. I'm real bad at Arnold. Probably because I'm not from Austria. Yeah, no, Pat, I got it. You can't find it. It's okay. You're at the end of the fucking file. All right, so here we are. We're going to do this one more time. Are you ready? Click. There we go. We got some information. Let's grab this one, and we're going to feed it right back in. What information do we get? Nothing readable, but hey, we'll remember it later. Because you never know. Some of this might come back to haunt us. And we know where it came from. We know how to manipulate it. We know when to change it. So if it does come back to haunt us, we'll be ready. Make some shit in the XMM. All right, let us continue. Now, you'll see here that we're going to F8. We're going to compare what's at ESI plus 14 with 10. Now, you'll notice that it's clearly not. And if we go ahead and follow that in the dump, the memory address, here it is. Now, interesting. It's overriding where we were earlier. Anyhow, we're going to compare, and then we're going to move to ESI plus 10 EDI. All right, let's go ahead and follow that one in the dump, and let's see that we moved this. And, of course, it's our 140. Now, jump it below. It is not, so we're not going to jump. Now we're going to move into EAX, this random thing that was already there. But, hey, we like to do that. And then we're going to move a byte to EDI plus EAX. A 0. Now, that's clearly going to cut this string in half somewhere. Let's go ahead and follow this in the dump. I see a big-ass picture over there. So, I see that you're circling ultra-low latency mode. Now, the problem with that is that it disables DVR. I used to do it, and it worked fine, great, it was good. But it disables DVR, and I wanted people to be able to rewind, and it's actually been helpful a couple times. So I'm in low latency, and we could do it. And then the other thing with that is when people like first join or when the stream completes, guess what? It doesn't have the video to automatically upload to YouTube. So then I have to upload it. But I record them anyways, which is not a problem. After the first break, which is going to be here in about 15 minutes, I'll kill the stream. I'll bring it back up in ultra low latency mode. I'll record that half, and we'll, well, I'm recording the whole thing anyways. And then I'll upload that when I'm done. So we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens and see if, how big of a difference that DVR makes. Now, what would be really handy is if I could do ultra low over here and have, one of my faithful viewers be recording it real time so that they could rewind on the fly. But, I mean, I'm doing that here, and technically I could, but that's a lot of work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 140 in, and we're going to put a 0 there, effectively cutting the string off So it's a big ass long string, but we're going to kill it right here where there's already a 0. It's just being extra sure that it's going to be a string. It's not going to continue on writing, you know, anything like that. Then we're going to move into EAX ESI. Now that's a stack pointer. Let's follow in the stack. Oh, look, it's a pointer to that damn thing. So what we have in EAX now is a pointer to what used to be in EAX and is still currently in EBX. Now we're going to pop EDI, and hey, let's put it in EDI because it, you know, needs to be there. So we'll follow that in the stack, and you'll see that that EDI points to our client data. Great. So we have not yet even transmitted. We're ahead of it. Great. The worst thing in life is when you get a breakpoint, it's your first breakpoint, and it's way after the fact. You're like, oh shit, you got to go backwards. Which, hey, what do we do best? We go backwards. I did the hard work for you. That's okay. We're going forward now. Now, I did the hard work real shitty, real quick. I got something. I went backwards. That's where that goes. And I went backwards, and I got to a point where I knew we could pick up and continue forward, but I never really looked at or examined any of it. I did hit the spot in the code where I could modify the date, and it worked, but I didn't put a note anywhere, so we have to find it again. And here we go. So we're going to pop ESI. Now, ESI is going to be, oh, well, something over here. We follow that in the stack, and you'll notice that that's a return address. Pop EBX. Now, EBX is going to hold something, too. We're going to follow that in the dump. And yeah, it's this here, which if we follow that in the dump, we'll notice that that's not important. Clearly, it's not that. So what is it? It's this. This is what it is. This right here. And then we got this other random bit down here, random bit here, random bit there. Email. Hey, that's a good idea. I could stream your stream in just low latency with DVR enabled so it can be scrubbed while you're in ultra. That's a good idea, Dakota. It is. All right. So now we're going to pop EVP. Hey, you know that frame pointer that we established earlier? Go ahead and restore that. And now we have a return. A return's fun. It means you're going back to the start. All right, here we are. Can you crack my parents' Disney web sense? I get narked on past 10. So what do you mean? Like they have some content filter after 10 p.m.? It's like, hey, he's on the internet. Because that's just bad parenting. You should be in control of your children and what they do with their choices. Don't put existential limits on them and think that it substitutes for good parenting. But yes, that is something that is most definitely super easy to bypass. I'll show you. I'll show you right now. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is go into network sharing. Now, this is just a guess because it could be set up several different ways. You're going to go into change adapter settings. You're going to right click. You're going to go to properties. You're going to go down to IPv4. You're going to uncheck IPv6 because, well, I'm not dealing with both sides of this. You're going to go to properties. You're going to use the following, 8.8.8. Whoops. 8.8. You're going to go to 8.4.4. You're going to hit OK. You're going to hit close because most of these are set up as a DNS gateway. And what you've done now is told the router, hey, fuck you, don't handle my DNS, just pass it on through to Google. And Google will handle your DNS requests for you. Now, if that doesn't work and it's something different, it could be set up on a range of IPs. Now, you can access the same network a couple different ways. So first thing you want to do is double click this, see what your current IP is, and then, well, obviously since I'm in a virtual box, this isn't really going to work, but for example, this is called a subnet mask. This means that these have to match this last one can be anything. Now, the other way that these work is to find ranges of IPs or MAC. Now, I'm going to show you how to change both of these. So let's start with the easy one, the MAC address. We're going to go to Properties. We're going to go to Configure. You're going to go to Advanced, and then you're going to go to, I may not have it since I'm in a VM, but usually in here you'll have one that says network address or something like that. And it will have locally administered address. There we go. That's a little bit different, but I mean different wording. But then you're going to put in any valid MAC address. So like DAEA. No, let's try this better. DEADBEEF. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't remember how long these are supposed to be. IP config dash all. Okay, so they're a bit longer. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can't remember if that's going to be valid or not, but we're going to hit OK, and we'll find out. It will tell you. It'll pop up and be like, yeah, it's not valid. So you go back in, you'll notice that you're still connected, and all is good. And look, we have a physical address of deadbeef02AF. All right. So now we've bypassed the DNS. We've bypassed any MAC filters, and you'll notice that my IPv4 is now fucked. So we're going to go back in here. We're going to go into IPv4. We're going to go to Properties. We're going to use the following. And I don't remember what it was, but good thing I had it right here. It was 10.0.2. So what we're going to do is go 10.0.2. Something either at the very end or at the beginning, because typically they'll set these up in the middle. So not the very beginning, because that's going to be gateway and the end is going to be broadcast, so don't do that. Like 1 obviously won't work, 0 obviously won't work, and 255 won't work. But typically it's going to be, you're going to be safe in the end, so do like 245. And then the net mask, that would work just fine. Now the default gateway is going to be your router address. Of course, that's going to be 0.1. Now you hit OK, you hit close, and you'll see that now we actually receive stuff. Disney Circle. So fuck Disney Circle. So now we have an IP, a net mask that lets us see other shit. Yeah, this should work. It doesn't matter what it's called. We've changed the MAC, so if they have filtered it to that, and you'll notice that this should still work. Google.com. Should. I've been wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. Now, most likely what's going on here is the fact that I'm in a VM. And it's like host. Yeah. So let's go back in here. And we'll actually set up the net mask. I'm going to leave the gateway blank and see if it will just grab one. Okay. It's enabled. And let's see here, because I believe I have this set up, network settings. Yeah, this won't work because I have it set up as NAT. So because I'm in a VM, this last bit I can't change. But for you, you should be fine. So we'll undo that. Properties, do obtain automatically here. And that'll fix it for me. Change Mac back default. Why would I change the Mac back? The Mac is fine. Mac can be anything you want. There. Now it works just fine. But since my VM is set up to use NAT, that's like a whole nother side network based off of just my computer, which I'd have to go in and see what addresses it actually allocates. Likely it's like 1 address or 5. Just, yeah, I'm not sure how the VM was configured, because I just did automatic. But now you'll see IP config/all. We have our IP, which was automatically assigned the net mask. And, oh, there's your problem. Default gateway 2.2. Fucked it up. So let's try that. Just because I'm curious, I want to see if this will actually let me do it, which I'm sure it will now that we have the right gateway. Properties. Let's use 10.0.2.25. 245. Click 10.0.2.2. If you're not an idiot and you pay attention, everything will work. You'll notice now, details, I've got dead beef, I've got 245, I'm on an OpenNet mask, and Google still works. As long as you get that gateway correct. Now, that's where IP... apparently, if you Google Erkger, you get lots of YouTube videos. I don't know, but okay. Anyways, can we get back down to work? We've got 6 minutes till break time. So, let's get back to it. Now, the other thing you can do is, real quick, of course, we know that my IP was 10.0.2.12 or something. The router typically is going to be whatever yours is, .1. Typically. Obviously, that's not going to do shit here. And we know that my gateway was not .1, but 2. And obviously, that's not going to do shit here because the VM isn't hosting a router config. Now, I could go to 192. Is this my outside one? 168.0.1. And that'll take me to D-Link. And if I put in my password, which is, of course, 90% of the time a default password, then you can see clearly. Let me go ahead and Alt-T this. You can go in here and go in whatever features they want, content filtering or whatever, and go ahead and turn it off. And if you can't find the password for the router, just go around to the router, plug into the side of it where it says reset, hold that down, then just go ahead and pop in before your parents do, reset up the router with the default settings, and then poof, you're in with everything like Flynn because the passwords are defaulted at a factory reset, and they're usually written on the bastards also. All right, now let's get back to work. So, I tried to open Ollie, but it's no longer always on top. There we go. Let's always on top it again. There we go. All right, so look at that. We've got 12 people watching. Who are you? It is, you know how late it is? Do your parents know that you're up? Oh, right. We just talked about that. Okay, so EAX is about to get something, even though we just put something in it. Oh, we came out of a call, but yeah, what was in that call? I don't know. Let's see. What did we get out of that call? We got this at it. Wait a minute. You come out of a call, and typically your return is going to be in EAX. Now, it doesn't have to be, and obviously we could go into the call and go down to before the return, and we'll see that we're restoring ESI, EBX, and EBP. So ECX and EAX. ECX is the other one that usually has a return. But in this case, EDX and ECX look interesting. Now, EDX looks pretty interesting because it's 1110. Yeah, 1110. And these guys didn't change at all. So now EAX is going to get a new address. There you go. Even though it was the same address. So what's that tell you? It's always going to write to that. Also, try to use their laptop to access the router. They may have the password set. Right. Right, just open up the browser, or if you don't have much time, you get yourself a USB drive. Do they use Chrome or Firefox? Doesn't really matter. You get Chrome Pass, or the one for Firefox, I forget what it's called, but I think Chrome Pass will do it too. And then you just pop in, run it, take a save, you go back to your computer, you got the passwords. Any saved passwords right there, you're good to go. All right. All right, we're making good time. We got 2 minutes left. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. We're going to move to a random spot on the stack, the number 4. And that spot on the stack currently contains the number 3. Almost like this is a state machine or something. Mobile data is spendy. Yeah, I tell you. All right, we're going to hit F8 now. We're going to push EAX. This just became an interesting stack pointer. Oh, look, it's the same old information. So we're pushing that. We're going to load into EDX some shit. Look, it's a stack pointer. Let's take a look. And it holds this. Follow that in the dump. Is it interesting? Yeah, a little. Not really. ECX gets this. And what's in ECX? We'll follow that in the stack. And it's an F. F! And if we were to just take a brief look in here and take a look around, see what it looks like, Nothing too great. Let's see what it returns. We're going to hit F8. I'm not going into this. I'm going over it. I'm going to hit minus on my numpad to bring us back. You know that this is the current address of execution based off the black coloring here. If you didn't notice that before, now you know. I'm sorry I left it out. You know, sometimes I assume that people are watching because they know stuff. And that's why I said I want to go back to the basics and break it down Barney style, because I realized that I was once too trying to watch these and keep up and learn from them. And the little things is where you had the struggles. Like, well, how did he know that? And you just stare at it for hours. Be like, okay, I get it. I don't want to do that to you. So now I'm going to hit F8, and you'll see that the current execution point will move down here. Boom. Hey, I actually have a video on how to write a keylogger, and if you want to see it, it's pretty interesting. You can even majigger it a little bit to just go ahead and email it to you, or what I like to do is use an HTTP request, a post to a server, hosted somewhere free, and then it just logs whatever the post was. And it targets specific windows. Hey, this is a new one. Looky there. That's different, isn't it? Let's just go ahead and edit. Copy as table, bring open our notepad, which we can't see right now. We're going to click here, T. Oh, now this is always on top too. Jeebus. There we go. So, bring it back. Thank you. There we go. Notepad, get up here. It's your time to shine, little guy. So we're going to do this. We're going to go to the end, go back one, because I know that that's where it's going to end at. Paste that guy in, and we'll see that this is still very not interesting information. But this doesn't help. Let's go ahead and just get those out of there. Okay. Yeah, nothing too important yet. So let's just continue down the line. But, unless it's custom in Pac-12. Yeah, just handwritten. You write it yourself and you're fine. That, and stay away from the typical API calls. Use something ridiculous like get key state. That'd be a nightmare. Just constantly pulling all the key states. Hey, honey, you know why this thing slowed down? I don't know, Jim. Probably because you're always on there watching porn. Well, I'm trying to, but I can't even type a key. Yeah, that's how that one goes. All right, add ESP4. Oh, the good old days when you could just hardware hook the damn keyboard. Oh, those were the good old days. Okay, let's get Ollie back on top. And look, it's 2 minutes past break time, so yeah, a lot of times game devs do that. Kind of. I mean, it depends. Typically, they won't pull the whole keyboard. And, well, I mean, if they have to, but give me an example, because I can see examples in 3 different ways for games and reasons why. Anyhow, I'll be right back. I'm going to kill the stream. I'm going to go to ultra low latency mode. And then I will be right back, but I do need to get something to drink. It's getting a little dry in there, and nobody likes dry mouth. So then you guys can let me know how the ultra low latency goes. But yeah, I'm gonna kill it now. It'll pop back up here pretty short. Lee, gotta add that Lee on there. And well, as soon as it gives me the option to actually change it, then I'll pop it back up. So I'm gonna